Vanessa Zamora. I am here today with Shawn Rorick at PubCon Las Vegas 2008. And Shawn Rorick is the Director of Marketing at Cirque du Soleil. Thank you for sitting with us and taking time. I know you're super busy.
Yes.
And I was super excited to have the opportunity to sit and watch your keynote yesterday. You brought up some great points. Can you sort of share the main thrust of your presentation? You talked a lot about search and what's coming and the exciting new things that we have to look forward to.
The main thrust was to introduce everybody that's involved with search marketing to the rest of the world that's out there and show them how search isn't just happening online, it's happening in mobile, as we all know, it's happening in social media, and I want to just make sure that people kind of open their eyes and kind of pick their heads out of what they're doing up and just look around at the world, because we are entering a time right now when, you know, emerging media is causing our lives to merge together with traditional media in a lot of the different spaces. Focusing too long on one thing, you become an expert, yes, but how long is that expertise can be a commodity in that area? And as they open their eyes to the rest of the world and see the different platforms that are out there and approaching different audience segments and everything as far as other ways to turn ROI, that'll keep them ahead of the curve when it comes to the knowledge just in general about interactive marketing. I think it's really important for marketers today to continually put themselves in their audience's shoes, their purchasers or buyers or consumers' shoes, so they know that their message is going to get out there effectively.
What most excites you about the future of search, about where we're going? What one thing are you saying, God, I hope this really catches on and this is where we end up maybe in 5 years or maybe even next year? Yeah,
well, I was talking in the presentation today, I really love the idea of cloud computing. It's kind of come about the past couple of years, but realistically, I'm so excited to know that I'm not going to have any wires going into my house or to my components.
That is
right. It's huge.
I dream.
Probably actually for my personal life, that's probably what I look forward to the most, as far as that way, like I said in my speech, I don't have to keep drilling holes to try to make my surround sound system work. It'll just happen magically.
Yeah.
Anyway, but no, with as far as online media and technology and where it's taking us, it excites me because users out there, the consumers, are using media to manage their daily lives, and they're choosing when, where, and how they're going to consume that media. And that media out there is finding every different single path they could possibly get to that person. And for us, it's cool because we're going to see a lot of change in what the mainstream is today and what the mainstream is going to be tomorrow. And we have to kind of have the foresight a little bit to kind of just keep an eye on it until it gets to the point where we feel we'll be able to get successful ROIs by going through that media to reach the audience. And I think that watching information, the speed of information, increase over time, I think is exciting because we'll be able to identify those different paths quicker and be able to tell if they're more useful to us in a shorter amount of time without having to sit here and wait for internet to catch on, wait for search to catch on, wait for social media to catch on. I mean, social media started back in the day of GeoCities on Yahoo, and that was 10 years ago. And realistically, it's been 10 years now, and now social media is like this big thing today. It's the same thing with Second Life. Second Life is something that came out. It got big in the media space as a virtual world. People weren't really familiar with it. They weren't really sure how they could use it, but it was definitely a communication tool and a social tool. But that had its pop in the media, and then people kind of strayed away from it because it didn't offer any way to make a lot of money for a lot of people at this point. But that'll come back around, I guarantee, in the next 10 years. You'll see that come back around.
Excellent.
So things are just happening a lot quicker now than us just having to wait for things to come about.
Thank goodness.
Yes, I know. Because then we're not getting any younger. I'm tired of getting old, wait for things to catch on.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So you have to stay a step ahead of everybody. What resources do you look to, or what's in your news feed, or where do you suggest people look to find out the new and next information? Is there somewhere to look, or how do you stay ahead?
Well, sure. You could use news feeds from Google. You can go ahead and have your Google alerts working for you in that space. There's a lot of banter, a lot of chatter on all the blogs out there. I would recommend using services like eMarketer that just kind of, or other services that are similar that show where the online spending is happening today in emerging media, and you can see where the increases are happening. And based on how much people are spending in that media, on their own research and how valuable it is to them, you can kind of see a window in the future about what's going to be the next biggest thing. So that kind of gives you a heads up on what's around the corner for us.
Absolutely. Yeah. And do you follow any blogs?
Yeah, I follow a couple of blog posts, but mostly it's been our fan blogs where I work at Cirque du Soleil, just to see what their reactions are to the show, how their experiences have been. Our social media manager, Jessica Berlin, who actually spoke here today, she's able to provide those reports to us. So, but I'm basically trying not to follow those blogs. We're trying to do our own, with Levima and following the other ones in town. Some Twitter people, participants, in all the different resorts, talking about what's happening at their resort or what's happening on the Strip that weekend, and those are the things I like to follow. So. We've expanded from about probably 40 to 50 core members to over 250 here in Las Vegas. I'm hoping to hit 500 by next year. And I had the opportunity to go up to San Francisco back in last February and meet everybody else from other EMAs across the world, or across the country, I should say.
Excellent.
And so there's about 25, 26 of us there. And I think there's going to be another interactive marketing summit this year, but it'll be held in Las Vegas. So we'll be able to share ideas with all the other organizations out there and start forming our own community, of associations and different DMAs.
Excellent.
We focus essentially on emerging media tactics and how to address this whole next generation of media. I feel like, the banner ad, the display ad, and search, I feel like a lot of that's been kind of, beaten, down just on the internet side. Obviously, we still have mobile search and stuff to look for also, but, we try to grasp what's new and what's upcoming and ask ourselves, is it time for us to start using this? Has anybody tested it? And a lot of times we'll share tests with each other, here in Vegas, and talk about what our successes and our failures are. And it basically gives a lot of insight to a lot of the professionals here in town.
Excellent.
So everybody out there, I'd highly recommend that you join a local interactive marketing association.
Nice. So can you announce? Do you have a weekly event, or is it just sort of sporadic, or when's
So
your
we have our next monthly one. Yeah, we have a monthly. We have 1 month basically, and so we have a special event, which is when we invite speakers to come in and talk about emerging media topics, and then we have our monthly mixers, basically every other. So for instance, this upcoming we have on the 20th of this month, next week on Thursday, we have our annual Levima Awards ceremony. It's basically for creative media and stuff, and after that we're going to be having our end of the year mixer in December. We'll take a break for January and then we'll come back and reconvene in February. So
nice.
Yeah, it's been really cool. So I think that PubCon's definitely on its way to becoming a next-gen conference. It started out with just search, and then it kind of gravitated to social media. Now you see a lot of things coming out here. I believe that next time, the next few that you guys have, I think you're going to start seeing more and more interactive media, service providers and reps come out. Basically, they talk about their services as well.
Absolutely.
Because it's starting to all kind of blend together. It's not it's a great time to be in this whole space once again.
It really is. Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's wrap up now, and thank you so much for taking the time to sit with me. It was
Thanks for having me out here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks.
It's been a lot of fun.
Totally.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you.
All right. See you later. Hi, this is. Oh, I fell.
Don't forget your name. Okay.
Did you see what I did?
Yeah,
I started and I leaned over and I lost my.
She's been here a long time today. Right, you need to give her a raise or something because
okay.
she's busting her ass out here.
And 3, 2, 1, take 2.
People aren't just using internet search anymore. They're using their mobile search. They're using their social search. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different, ways to search, and that's one of the things I want to introduce to these people and get them to start understanding these different forms of media that are out there. Can you edit that out? Well, I think that the main thrust of the whole presentation was. I'm not going to be able to do this.
Yes. Okay.
I can do this.
Okay. Okay. You can do this.
So can you.
I can't.